Hello and welcome back to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain, and during today's show, we're talking about 10 things you should know about your financial advisor. This comes from the SEC, Securities and Exchange website, and I'm putting my twist on it and how you can evaluate a firm or a financial advisor. The first was, of course, that we talked about, they're not all professionals, and you've got to understand what credentials to look for: CFA, CFP, CPA, PFS. To me, those are the three. And in fact, in my firm, you will not advise clients unless you have one of those three designations. That's a rule that we have. And we have several advisors like myself that are CFAs. We have CFPs. We also have a CPA with a PFS specialty. So you want to look for those. You want to look for experience. As I mentioned, closing out the first hour, there's nothing wrong with a young advisor. You can actually get a college degree now in personal financial planning, and most of those young graduates also sit for the CFP exam. And so there's nothing wrong with that, but there's no substitute for experience, somebody that has actually applied financial planning principles to actual clients over a broad number of years. We want to look at the titles. Don't get confused in titles. People that call themselves wealth advisors, investment advisors, financial planners. In our firm, the advisors, we call them wealth planners. There's nothing magical about these terms. My firm is called D.L. Blain Company Wealth Management. And wealth management used to have a very distinct meaning years ago, which is why we adopted that wealth management was a firm that took a holistic view of a client's finances. They helped them with investing. They helped them with insurance. They helped them with estate planning. They helped them retirement planning, tax planning, sort of everything that encompasses wealth. Well, a lot of the major brokerage firms and, everybody saw that the great success that these wealth management firms had and what a great business model it was, so they just slapped wealth management on the title of their company and said, oh yeah, we do that too. And so it's very important that you dig down and you see what credentials the people working there have and what services that they actually provide. Someone calling themselves a financial planner with all insurance licenses, there's nothing wrong with being an insurance salesperson, but it does not necessarily mean that they're an expert in investing. The same thing with an investment advisor. This is a pet peeve of mine. Investment advisor is very different than someone who is a wealth planner. Investment advisor has a lot of knowledge about investing in stocks and bonds and things like that, but will just have a superficial knowledge of taxes, maybe estate planning, things like that. So make sure that you have a well-defined, that you know what you need. If you just need investment advice, if you're confident in everything else that you do and you just want someone to help manage the money, fine. There's a million investment advisors. If you need more holistic advice, that's where it gets a little tricky, because a lot of people claim that they provide it, but they generally don't have the in-house expertise such that we do at my firm to provide those. Obviously, you want to make sure that someone has a clean track record. There's so much deceptive practices. There's outright frauds going on in the financial world today, that at a minimum, you should make sure that the person has a clean background. Now, by that, I mean that they haven't been convicted of any sort of financial-related crime. There are a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are clients out there that try to blame market losses on their advisor. And so just because someone has a complaint filed against them, doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. Now, every advisor at my firm has a clean record. No complaints have ever been filed against us. But if you come across someone that does, it may raise a red flag, but it does not mean you should exclude it. But certainly if they've been convicted of some sort of financial securities violation, you want to go ahead and move on and find someone else. You want to find an advisor, and this is my opinion, that is acting in your best interest, that is a fiduciary to you. And that narrows the field quite significantly to registered investment advisors, or RIAs, such as my firm. There's nothing wrong with someone that is a stockbroker or as they're called in the regulation, a registered representative. But just remember that they're held to a lesser standard and they have to sell you a suitable investment. They do not have a fiduciary duty. And we think that's very important. We have a fiduciary duty to our clients. We take it very seriously. And that means that we're required by law to put our clients' interest above our own firm. Other examples of fiduciary are a trustee of a trust. An attorney, when representing you, has a fiduciary duty to you. A CPA also would have a fiduciary duty. Well, registered investment advisors, such as my company, D.L. Blain Company, has that fiduciary duty. A broker, a stockbroker, does not. An insurance salesman does not. Not that there's anything wrong necessarily with those, but it's just we want to educate you on what to look for. You want to look for fiduciary duty. This is a good one. Check out the references. We get occasionally people will ask for a reference. Can I speak to one of your clients? Well, as an investment advisor, believe it or not, there are two problems with that. Number one, the privacy laws severely limit us. We can't just go and give our client name. We can't put it on our website. Hey, this person is our client. Call them. Number one, but more importantly, there are rules against investment advisor advertising. And one of the specific prohibitions with an investment advisor advertising is you cannot use what are called testimonials. You cannot use a satisfied client and put a statement of them on your website or make a video of them saying, oh yeah, David Blain, he's the greatest advisor ever. We think you should hire him. Believe it or not, you can do that in all sorts. If you're selling a product or anything, that is a big part of a lot of marketing plans. An investment advisor, you are prohibited by law from using testimonials. And we're coming up on our second break, so when we come back, I'll explain why giving out a reference may be a testimonial. So for All Things Money, I'm your host, David Blain, and we'll return shortly after a few messages.